Whitesboro Plow Shop Dirtcar 358 Modified Feature Go. Ready to rock and roll, and it is Brian Hudson on the point in the 621 along with the 27W Nick Webb. Row number 2, it's RJ Tresidder, the 21-3 Franklin Mackin. Row number 3, Scott Webb in the 18W, 36 Dan Beachard. Row 4, Derek Webb, the 66W, Lance Willix, the 31. Row 5, Billy Dunn, the 49, 19 to Tim Fuller. Tyler Meeks in the 974, Lucas Fuller alongside. Row number 7, Larry Welling Jr., the 21, JR, along with the 45, Preston Forbes. Ryan Bartlett, the 39, starts 15th. Shaun Shaw in the 7S starts 16th, and Andy Howard will complete it in spot number 17. 17 drivers ready to go. White flag is being displayed from our Chief Director of Traffic Control, Matt Burdick, atop the flag stand tonight. Started it off April 26th. Billy Dunn collected the feature win. Tim Fuller for 2 in a row, May 3rd and May the 17th. Lance Willix, the summer starter, on May the 24th. Tim Fuller for 2 in a row on May the 31st and June the 7th. Derek Webb on June 14th. Lance Willix on June 21st. Preston Forbes back to victory lane July 19th. Billy Dunn, his second win of the year, July 26th. Tim Fuller on August the 2nd. The last time we were here, he will fire from the number 10 position and could unofficially wrap up his 4th straight track championship with a solid performance here tonight. Matt Burdick points over towards turn number 4. That is where we are going to fire from. The Bob Johnson Auto Group Can-Am Speedway Pace Truck heads to the pits in turn number 3. Off of turn 4, the Whitesboro Plow Shop Dirtcar 358 Modifieds are green and Can-Am. 1 and 2 down the back straightaway. First time, Brian Hudson out in front, nearly 3 wide back behind the top 3, but they got it straightened out to nearly single file into corner number 4. Scott Webb, Franklin Mackin dicing it up for a top 5 position early on, and it is going to be Brian Hudson in command of the field as they click off lap number 1. Nick Webb there for second, and behind them, Franklin Mackin, all out of shape, loses 2 spots to Lance Willix and Derek Webb. Meantime, though, off of corner number 4, Brian Hudson in command of it as they bring it down into turn number 1 and 2. RJ Tresidder, Nick Webb, the top 3 as they motor down into turn number 1 and 2. Scott Webb there for 4th. Derek Webb completes the top 5. A good run for the Webb family early on here as they work into turn number 3 and 4 and across the line for lap number 3. Hudson still continues to show the way. He's opened up about a 6-car length advantage right now over the 21 of RJ Tresidder, the 27W Nick Webb, the 18 of Scott Webb, and Derek Webb right there in positions 3, 4, and 5 as they head down the front straightaway. Again, Brian Hudson continues to drive away from the field as the Webb family continues to go at it from 3rd on back. Scott, Nick, and Derek, they're all knotted up together in a battle for a top 5 position as they motor down the backstretch with Lance Willix giving chase from the 6th spot. Billy Dunn 7th, Tyler Meeks is 8th, Tim Fuller 9th, and Franklin Mackin rounds out the top 10 as they work at lap number 5. And again, watching that battle between Derek and Nick Webb as they go at it for the 4 and 5 positions down the back straightaway. Derek with a feature win already this season. Nick trying to get to victory lane, pushes way wide up the hill, opens the door for Lance Willix to get into the top 5, and now Billy Dunn comes into the mix. So Dunn now picking up some spots in the early going as they work in lap number 6 of this 25-lap contest. Brian Hudson continues to show the way, winless so far in his Dirtcar 358 modified career, but would love to change it here at Can-Am as he stopped the spot. 7 down, 18 to go. Hudson there in the number 1 spot. RJ Tresidder, Scott Webb, Derek Webb, and Lance Willix, the top 5. Nick Webb 6th, Billy Dunn 7th, still Tyler Meeks in 8th, Fuller into 9th, and Dan Beachard occupies the number 10 position. Everybody pretty much single file, and Brian Hudson showing the fast way is on the bottom side of the speedway, although RJ Tresidder and Scott Webb are right there with him within a few car lengths as they head down the front straightaway, clicking off lap number 9. Brian Hudson has got a lot of wins in the sportsman division. Been at this 358 modified thing now for the last couple of seasons, and has been in contention to win several races in his short modified career already, but would love to get to victory lane here tonight. Behind the top four, watching Lance Willix and Nick Webb battle for position. Nick Webb up on that outside lane. Got a good run going down the back straightaway, but Lance blocks the advances there into turn number 3 and 4, but Nick Webb's got a really good car up on that outside lane. He's trying to make up some ground here as they click off lap number 11. 11 down, Brian Hudson continues to show the way. Here's a battle for second right now between RJ Tresidder down the back straightaway. Scott Webb and Tresidder going after one another in the corner number 3 and 4. Webb to the bottom, Tresidder up on the top side and give the spot to Scott Webb by about a half a car length down the front straightaway. He'll clear Tresidder, and now he's going to bring Derek Webb with him to third. So RJ Tresidder losing a couple of spots here, but he's going to regain the 3 spot back down the back straightaway into turn number 3 and 4. Meanwhile, Hudson showing the way once again. Still the gap is stabilized at about 6 car lengths over Scott Webb as we continue to watch Derek Webb and RJ Tresidder battle for position. And Lance Willix dives it into the corner. Behind them, a couple of the best in Can-Am Speedway history, Billy Dunn and Tim Fuller. 9 track championships and over 150 Can-Am feature wins in 358 and big block modified competition as Billy Dunn moves by RJ Tresidder to get to the top 5. We got Lucas Fuller around in corner number 1 and 2. The yellow lights are on at lap 14. Lucas Fuller, 70. Loops it around over there, gets it refired. 11 laps left to go. And Brian Hudson would love nothing better than to get his first career 358 modified win. He has been close on numerous occasions over the years. From second on back throughout this race, it's been a pretty good tussle between Scott Webb, Derek Webb. Nick Webb was in the mix of that one as well for a while. Lance Willix and RJ Tresidder. But right now, Scott Webb has made his way up into second. He knows what victory lane is like here in a modified. Brian Hudson still searching for win number 1. So getting all the drivers into single file formation where they need to be. Of course, with our 50th Jubilee celebration here at Can-Am, a lot of celebrities and former drivers from years gone by. I had the pleasure and the opportunity to chat with 2-time Dirtcar 358 modified track champion here at Can-Am Speedway. Jimmy Johnson Jr. was in the house tonight. Got a chance to chat with him for a while during our intermission and our driver autographs, and caught up with him today and doing well. Miss him out here at Can-Am, but he certainly left his mark on this racetrack. 8 times he visited victory lane in his great career here. One of those big victories was the 1991 PAB shootout. Had a top 10 run in a Super Dirt Car Series event that year also. Chatting with him about that one, he says that was the one that kind of got away from him, but hey, you know what? Had a great career here, and glad to see him back here at the racetrack. Hope to see him again very soon. Right now, 11 to go. Brian Hudson trying to park it in victory lane for the first time. Green lights back on, and away we go. And into corner number 1 and 2, Brian Hudson to the bottom. Scott Webb up on the top side. Scott Webb to the lead off of corner number 2. Down the back straightaway, Lance Willix has jumped to the 4 spot as Billy Dunn, Tim Fuller, and a host of others charging towards the front of the field in the late going. 10 to go, and Scott Webb has got the lead. Webb to the point in turn number 1 and 2 as Brian Hudson continues to show the way, or continues to ride in second rather. Lance Willix has gotten around Derek Webb. He's now up into third as they head up into turn number 3 and 4. Billy Dunn still fifth. Webb slides a little wide up off the turn. Derek, that is. And Billy Dunn's going to slide by to pick up position number 4 as Webb falls to fifth. Tim Fuller on the top side. He moves around the outside lane, drives by Derek Webb, so he'll move into the 5 spot. And we got a tangle on the back straightaway. RJ Tresidder was 3 wide with Shaun Shaw in the 9 of Tyler Meeks. Gets back on the racetrack, but loses a whole bunch of spots. And in the meantime, Lance Willix goes to the front. Positions are changing all over this racetrack in a hurry. Lance Willix just jumped around the 6 of Brian Hudson to move into second. Tim Fuller drove around Billy Dunn to move to fourth. In the meantime, though, Scott Webb is driving away from everybody down in front at lap 18. Scott Webb looking to get to victory lane. Remember, it was almost a year ago to the day that Scott Webb won last year at Can-Am, but right now trying to get it back to victory lane, and Lance Willix is on the charge. Up to second, Fuller slides by the 621 of Hudson to move to third, and he is trying to go after the top 2. Tim Fuller well in line to win his 4th straight Whitesboro Plow Shop Dirtcar 358 Modified Track Championship. We got 5 laps left to go. He's got to try to get around Lance Willix and Scott Webb if he's going to do it. Into turn number 1 and 2 goes Scott Webb. He's got about 5 car lengths on Lance Willix. Tim Fuller driving the wheels off of this race car, trying to get to Lance Willix and get by for second. Off of turn number 3 and 4, Scott Webb continuing to show the way. Webb with a strong race car right now. Willix still within striking distance. Fuller starting to knock the car lengths down here into turn number 3 and 4 as Lance Willix. He starts to close in. 3-car battle for the win with 3 laps left to go as they come back to the line. Here comes Willix with a try in turn number 1. Couldn't quite get there though. Loses a couple of car lengths on the exit of corner number 2 does Willix as they go into turn number 3 and 4. Willix drives it deep into the corner again that time. Makes up a lot of ground on Scott Webb, and Fuller closing the gap with 2 laps left to go. 2 remaining. Here comes Willix with a bid for the lead. Couldn't quite get there though. Scott Webb knows he's there now, and Fuller watches from the 3 spot with Billy Dunn in 4th and Brian Hudson 5th. Down to turn number 3 and 4. We got caution on the racetrack. A car slowing to the top side of corner number 3 and 4. It's Franklin Mackin. Yellow lights are on, and this is going to set up a big finish here, and Scott Webb is going to have his hands full with Lance Willix and Tim Fuller. Scott Webb looking for his first win of the season. Lance Willix, 7 wins already this year, 2024. 5 of them at Glen Ridge, 2 of them here. Tim Fuller's got 5 wins here. Also has a win over at the Mohawk International Raceway. And he's also got a win at the Airborne Speedway in Plattsburgh earlier this year. Billy Dunn got a win at Fulton earlier this year. He's also got a pair of wins here at Can-Am. Picked up career win number 66 as he continues his pursuit to catch Pat O'Brien as the all-time winningest driver in modified history at the Speedway. But right now, Franklin Mackin, the number 3 rookie in the modifieds this year, was top 10 in points coming into tonight, but won't win here this evening. Unfortunately, he is going up on what my good friend Dan Martin calls the business end of the tow truck, and he will head back to pit road. Lance Willix definitely flexed his muscle towards that the end of that last green flag run right there. do it for Franklin Mackin's day. So you see the damage there. Those of you watching on Dirt Track Digest can see there's a big heavy damage on the left rear of that car. Single file restart, white flag in the air. Can Scott Webb hold on and win this one, or will Lance Willix steal the show? Or will Tim Fuller come from third and clinch another track championship with his 6th win of the season? We're about ready to find out. Billy Dunn's not out of the question either. He's back there, position number 4. Brian Hudson has had a solid night too, running in spot number 5. Derek Webb is 6th. Preston Forbes 7th, Nick Webb is 8th, Ryan Bartlett 9th, Shaun Shaw 10th, Dan Beachard 11th, Andy Howard 12th, RJ Tresidder 13th, and Larry Welling Jr. 14th. Bob Johnson Auto Group pace truck heads to the safe haven of the pits off of turn number 3. Matt Burdick points over to turn number 4. That is where we are going to fire from. Scott Webb, Lance Willix, and Tim Fuller right there off of turn number 3 and 4, back to green. Scott Webb got a great restart. Lance Willix trying to keep pace as they hit the back straightaway with Tim Fuller chasing from third. White flag in the air, and Scott Webb knows this race is not over with whatsoever. And oh, Derek Webb gets twisted around, spins it through to the infield. He is out of the way, and we will stay green. Checkered flag is waving this time by checkered in the air. Willix is going to give it a shot in turn number 3 and 4. It's not going to happen. Scott Webb is in victory lane again at Can-Am. Lance Willix, Tim Fuller, Billy Dunn, and Brian Hudson, your top 5.